No.
Twisted our agenda around a bit. We've let our staff go home that we're supposed to make a presentation on the Metro Town Plan for us, and at this late hour. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add a recommendation that
Here's. Worship, I just wanted to read some of the numbers of housing units that are coming on stream in Burnaby. In the rezoning and development, there are 678 units of no-market housing at 7 sites under construction. 1,607 units of purpose-built rental housing at 7 sites are under construction. 496 secondary suites are under construction, and 22,679 apartment and townhouse units are under construction or being reviewed through the rezoning process. And of this 22,000, it is estimated that 25% of those will be rental units, which means 5,700 units will be rental. Added to all those, there will be practically over 8,000 units coming on stream in the next couple of years in Burnaby. And I'll mention some of the places that will be affordable housing. Cedar Place, which is being rebuilt through our involvement there. There are 90 units of no-market family housing and 91 units of no-market senior housing. This was our agreement with the developer to do that, and with the BCHC. Beresford and Sussex, again, our agreement with BC Housing and the developer, 125 no-market housing units. Fairhaven and the planning stages with another 145 affordable housing units for seniors. New Vista Campus will consider rebuilding there. I don't have a number here, but probably hundreds of seniors housing. University Passive House, they are applying for a 90-unit below-market rental building. Bachi, we have given them $1.6 million housing fund grant to build 15 new no-market housing for disabled people. L'Arche is applying for rezoning applications at 7401 Sussex, again, with a residential component for people with developmental disabilities. And George Derby, which is under construction, is 122 new no-market housing units for seniors. So, there's a lot of no-market housing that are coming on stream in Burnaby in the next year or two. And that's not counting the market housing at Lowhead Village, Parkview Tower, Sussex, the Comore at 10th Kingsway, and at Brentwood Tower, which adds, again, thousands of more units. So we had a demonstration here, but they're not taking into account all that is being built for affordable housing and for market and no-market housing.
Unfortunately, Councillor Calandino, is that we find very often that the media is happy to report demonstrations, but very seldom will report the kinds of things that are done to actually make a difference in regard to housing in our city, either through rental housing or through social housing. It is a frustration. Councillor McDonnell.
Yeah, just a question, seeing this is being passed tonight, will this be on the webpage shortly?
Yes, it will be on the webpage and available for everyone to have a look. And I think people who are interested in the housing issue will be interested in looking all the way back to 1989, when Council started aggressively pursuing cooperation from the federal and provincial government in regard to housing initiatives. And in fact, I look back to 1989, and it was our first effort to get a standard of maintenance bylaw available to municipalities. And it wasn't endorsed by the UBCM, but we continued on and asked for assistance 1990, 1990 again, 92, 2000, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2013, 2014, 16, asking for packages that would assist in tenant assistance, that would assist us with social housing, rental housing zoning. Over and over and over again, those efforts were made. The FCM is similarly, as resolution after resolution, endorsed by the UBCM and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities that didn't get any results. And again, as pointed out earlier by the delegation, and the delegation was commendable in their approaches, that they were very thoughtful, but they pointed out it's been very difficult to get the federal and provincial government involved in doing anything about these issues. We remain hopeful that things are going to be changing over the next few years. All right, you ready for the question on the amendment? All those in favor, opposed, and carried on the motion as amended? All right, all those in favor, opposed, and carried. Moving on to 6.3, this is to change the signing officers on city bank accounts. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, opposed, and carried. Item 6.4. This is to request Council authorize staff to bring down a bylaw to appropriate $533,832 inclusive of GST from capital reserves to finance 4 projects in Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services. Question's been called. All those in favor, opposed, and carried. 6.5. This is to obtain council approval to award a contract for the 199 stall parking lot on the northeast corner of Canada Way and Norland Avenue. That is at a cost of $1,114,600. Right, to $1.6 million. All right, you ready for the question? Oh, Councillor Johnson.
Explanation. The lot, I mean, to the people driving by on Canada Way, it looks a bit bizarre that we're building a parking lot in the corner of Norland and Canada Way. But when you look at what we're really doing here, we're doing some renovations at in the City Hall precinct, and in doing that, we're going to temporarily lose some parking the improvements will be some RCMP improvements and additional parking facilities for the RCMP. And city staff. What this allows us to do is to temporarily move staff parking across the street so that we can free up the space in the City Hall precinct for the construction process.
Great. Ready for the question? All those in favor, opposed, and carried. 6.6. This is the Fire Department's second quarter 2017 report, and this provides information on their activities. Questions called. All those in favor, opposed, and carried. Item 6.7. And 6.7 deals with a rezoning reference in regard to high-rise apartment Tower 3 in the Lougheed Town Center Phase 1 site. And this is to seek authorization to forward the application to a public hearing on August the 29th, subject to a public hearing meeting date change by council. And I think we're looking at bringing that public hearing forward to the 28th at the time of the council meeting. So that will be considered and notice will be given about that. Am I correct, Madam Clerk? Right. Ready for the question? All those in favor? Opposed and carried. All right, and we're moving on to the set of rezoning applications. And this submits a current series of new rezoning applications for the information of council. Item 1 is 6449 and 6469 Selma Avenue. And this is to permit the construction of a multiple family residential townhouse project up to 3 stories in height with full underground parking. Recommendation's been moved. All those in favor, opposed, and carried. And item 2 is 8650 University Crescent, and this is construction of 2 residential buildings with a total of 90 below market rental units and 1 amenity building. And this is authorization to work with the applicant towards a suitable plan of development. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, opposed, and carried. Item 3. This is 4824 Hastings Street, and this permits the conversion of commercial retail space to a child care facility, and this is authorization to work towards a suitable plan of development. Councillor Calandino.
Yeah, no, Your Worship, I just want to point out that when the plan for that building was originally brought to us, there was an amendment that was started then to include this child care, but I'm not sure why the developer didn't go through with it, and I think it's quite appropriate to have the child care there. The commercial there is not that viable, so having a child care to use commercial phase is quite suitable. So I support it.
Okay. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, opposed, and carried. Item 4. This is 8339 Eastlake Drive, and this permits a minor increase to interior floor area, and again, authorization to work towards a suitable plan of development. Questions called. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Item 5. This is 4255 and 4257 Hastings Street. And this is to permit the construction of a 4-story mixed-use development. And this is authorization to work towards a suitable plan of development. Questions called. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Item 6. This is 8687 and 8689 10th Avenue, and this is to permit a retail liquor store use, and this is authorization to work towards a suitable plan of development. Councillor Dhaliwal.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm familiar with the area there. This is, application is coming forward to work with staff. Your Worship, I have looked at a couple of things which probably give me some concern to proceed with this work with the department. There there's a reasonable access to liquor stores in the area, just very close by. I would say not just walking, but at least maybe a couple of minutes drive. You have a liquor store, BC Government Liquor Store at McBride Plaza. There's a liquor store on Columbia, and then there's also a government liquor store north, Your Worship. There is really no shortage of liquor stores in the area. I generally think that if there was, the accessibility to liquor stores is quite reasonably available, both the private and the government liquor stores. So I'm not certain whether there's a huge demand. I certainly haven't heard from anyone that a liquor store would be something that the community would need. I'm generally not that supportive of accessibility to liquor and liquor stores as much as being perhaps happening in other cities, and I want to be very careful about supporting this. So I'm not going to support this recommendation, Your Worship. I believe there's a reasonable accessibility to liquor stores.
All right. I appreciate that. I'm going to support this in that that we'll have a look at the development proposal and send it to public hearing as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, that still leaves us with the option of having a look at the development and deciding whether we should proceed. All right. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor? Opposed? Councillor Dhaliwal opposed. Please note that. All right. And it carries. Motion the committee rise and report. All those in favor, opposed, and carried. A motion that the report of the committee be adopted. All those in favor, opposed, and carried. Bylaws, Councillor Wang.
Thanks, Your Worship. For first reading, I move that bylaw number 13785 be now introduced and read a first time.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, opposed, carried.
For the first, second, and third reading, I move that bylaw number 13769 be now introduced and read 3 times.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, opposed, and carried.
For the consideration and third reading, I move that bylaws number 13598, number 13650, and number 13651 be now considered and read a third time.
Seconder, please. It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, opposed, carried.
For third reading, reconsideration, and the final adoption, I move that bylaws number 13671, number 13709, and number 13721 be now read a third time, reconsidered, and finally adopt, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and the corporate seal affixed thereto.
Councillor Johnson, please.
I'm opposed to 13721, which is consistent with my second reading, but
No, 09, 137.
13709? The liquor.
They're both.
Oh, they're both, okay. Then both.
13709.
9.
This is the move of the liquor store to the
Yeah, I'm
new
sorry, I got them.
location.
They're two both at the same address, that's right.
Yeah, and that's 13721 also.
The other one's the antenna. No, I'm okay with the antenna.
Okay. So 13709 you're noted as being in opposition to. And Councillor McDonnell?
It's to cancel the old zoning.
Councillor Dhaliwal?
Yes, I'm opposed as well, Your Worship.
Right, I'm also opposed. You're opposed, and Councillor Jordan's opposed.
Just for clarification, Your Worship, 13721 is to cancel the zoning on the existing store, which is proposed to move across the street. So I don't know if we defeat 09, then
That's what I mean, is that 13709, if
Is
it's
the move.
defeated, then I think that we should probably table 13721.
21, yeah.
Is that right? All right. Yeah, so in
Separate.
13709, it appears, let me hear the vote again on that. Hands up, all of those who are in favor of the rezoning. Councillor Calandino, all those opposed? All right, it fails, 13709. And in regard to 13721, is there a motion to table?
So moved.
Right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of tabling? Right, opposed? It is tabled. That'll give, no, he's in favor of tabling, are you? He is. Yeah, it's to give an opportunity for planning staff to look at how they react to the rezoning being defeated, and you don't want to take away the existing rezoning without giving the person a chance to consider whether they're able to stay or, right. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Move 13671.
Second.
All right, and all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right. So we've got that now straight, Madam Clerk. We've got 13671 that passed, 13709 that failed, and 13721 that was tabled. Okay. All right. Moving on to reconsideration and final adoption.
For the reconsideration and the final adoption, I move that bylaws number 13578, number 13596, number 13649, number 13770, number 13777, number 13778, number 13779, number 13780, number 13781, number 13782, and number 13784 be now reconsidered and finally adopted, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and corporate seal of fixed 02.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, opposed, and carried. That concludes bylaws. Thank you, Councillor Wang. And moving on now to new business. I have an item of new business that I'd like to have moved by one of the councillors, and this is that the public hearing originally scheduled for August the 29th, 2017, be rescheduled to take place on August the 28th at 6 p.m. in the council chamber, and that the public hearing originally scheduled for 2017 October 31st be rescheduled to take place on October the 17th, 2017 at 7 p.m. in the council chamber. Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, opposed, and carried. New business, is there any other new business?
Worship on the city fair that we held on July 16th, since the last council meeting. I just wanted to thank the members that came out. Wanted to thank city staff for their support. It was the best one yet. We had our wrap-up meeting last Wednesday, and the RCMP said that the crowd was estimated at 20,000.
Really? That's impressive. That was a big crowd. I was out there for that, and I couldn't believe there were people all up and down Edmund Street. It was very impressive. And I wanted also to mention that coming up is get your tickets for the RCMP musical ride. It's on Friday, August the 18th, and there are tickets still available. It's at Swangard Stadium. It's going to be a tremendous event. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend going to see the musical ride. There aren't many opportunities to see it here, particularly to be able to see it in Burnaby. We've been lucky to have it once before, and we're getting it again, and it really is a spectacular event. So get your tickets now for August the 18th. Oh yeah, the Blues Festival's coming up on August the 12th, I think it is. Is that right? August the 12th? Yes. And that's another very exciting day. Is it headlined by Trombone Shorty, and I know tickets are still available for that. It'll be a beautiful day. It's guaranteed by Councillor Johnson. And Councillor Wang,
Yeah,
you've got an event you want to tell us about.
Yeah, I also shares a very good community news. There's another community event will be held on this upcoming Sunday, July 30, starting by 11 o'clock. That is Chinese Cultural History Festival will be held in the Swan Garden of Central Park. So that is third year of this the event that recognizes one of the largest community event, in the Lower Mainland. So there will be about 20,000 people will be gathering in the stadium, and will celebrate the Chinese culture, which is one of part of our model culture. So Burnaby become the most, actually it's the most diverse city in BC and even Canada. So we're very happy to celebrate all the different cultures in this wonderful city. And stadium, Swan Garden became the venue for all those festivals for different, nations and communities. So I really recommend all the people to be there this Sunday, 11 o'clock, Swan Garden, Central Park. Thank you.
Thank you. And 20,000.
Yeah.
Very Trump-like estimate.
The number for last year is 15,000, so they expect, more people coming this year. And also community very appreciative, for our city and especially parks, give us such, support for this wonderful event.
So get ready, Mr. Ellenwood. All right, that sounds like a lot of fun, and I've been to that event, and it is a great party, really showcases Chinese culture. All right, and Councillor McDonnell.
We've seen they're talking about festivals, the Korean festivals the weekend following, August 5th up at Swan Garden. And last year they had around 25,000 there, and they're expecting the same this year. And there's a lot of entertainment, and it goes on until, starts at 11 and goes till about 10 at night, I believe. So there's lots of different entertainment for the family and that, and lots of different food.
And the European Festival at Swan Garden's already over, right?
Yeah.
What about the Fijian Festival? Have we still got that coming up? A week ago. Exactly. All right. Anything else? You ready for motion to adjourn? All those in favor, opposed, and carried. Thank you, everyone, for your patience tonight. I know it was a rough night for all of the people who stayed to deal with different items on the agenda, and was very inconvenient. I just want to say that, there's a democratic process, and there are occasions when people come in and attempt to bully that process. And while I think it's important for us to listen to everybody respectfully, I want to be clear. We listen to the people who were here with great respect, and we've listened many times before and consulted with those people over the past year. Nothing could be more disappointing than, after all of that effort, to have people treat the democratic process in the way they treated it today. But we recessed in order to come back and continue with the meeting. It was disappointing, but it shouldn't make any of us believe any less in the democratic process. It's important that we all protect that process and ensure that we continue to listen, though, to those who may have a dissenting opinion, and we do so respectfully, but we also believe very strongly that eventually you have to make a decision, and you have to make that decision following the processes that are set out. So with that, I will conclude this meeting. Thank you very much.